What up, Fashionistas, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing an Ice King. I thought, I'd switch it up, throw some, ice cubes in my forehead, typical Tuesday. So now I'm going in with the Makeup Forever Flash Palette, which is a cream-based white face paint, and I'm putting that on my brow bone. I'm doing this for one of two reasons. One, I wanted to kind of map out where I wanted the crystals to go, and also, if my skin showed through the cracks of these, I wanted it to be a little bit white and not show those too much skin color, if that makes sense. But I'm taking a cosmetic sponge that I got at the makeup store, any other makeup store, and I'm using that to apply and blend. They're very useful for blending out cream paints. I definitely recommend them for everyone's professional makeup kit. I'm applying that to my brow bone area and my cheekbones because this is the areas that I want to apply the sugar crystals. So I'm just, getting in there and mapping it all out. I try to pre-paint my hair white, which it looks a little crazy to me. I'm taking my Laura Mercier powder puff and the Makeup Forever translucent powder. Any powder will do, and I'm using that to set. Every time you use a cream paint, you want to set it with powder because it's going to slip and move around the face if you do not. I'm taking this peach color now to give a little bit of like a sun-kissed, cold, winter color. So I'm applying it just a little bit to the center of my eyelid with a concealer brush, and I'm going to blend it out with my finger, and it's going to give a nice tint to my eye color, or to my eyelid. So it's gonna pull just like a little bit of a nice sheen of a creamy base, and we're gonna set that with a similar eyeshadow color. I'm going in with Star Crushed Minerals. I'm going in with this color here. I'll have it linked down below. And I'm just setting that cream paint. Again, you always want to set cream paints. And I'm setting my entire eye area with a similar pink shade. And that's going to give it a little bit more vibrancy. And it's going to pull off as a nice, through the skin, pink color. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Now I'm going in with like this bone color. It's a nice neutral gray. It's a little bit on the lighter side, and I'm putting that on the inner corners of my eye just to bring a little bit more dimension to this eye look, so it's not one solid pink. It's got a little bit of dimension and movement. I'm going in with a white cream paint now to go cover up my eyebrows. I did do this. I wasn't really sure how I was going to do this tutorial yet, so I'm kind of just playing around with it. But this ends up not really being the most necessary step. It does really help out when you glue down your eyebrows because it adds a little bit of white paint in there, which neutralizes your brow color a little bit, but ultimately it's not very necessary. I'm taking a medium brown. This is one of the Becca Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes, which are the perfect neutrals. And I'm applying that to the inner corner and underneath my brow bone to, again, add depth and dimension. I know that the sugar crystals are going to go in this area, so if any skin shows through underneath it, it's going to cast a natural shadow and add depth to the overall look. Boom. Now we're going to get this side on the other side. So I'm taking a glue stick. This is an Elmer's glue stick, and I'm just going to go turn into a drag queen a little bit, and I'm going to glue down my eyebrows. I don't have a tutorial for this, but it's quite simple. I'm going the opposite direction in which my hairs grow to really get the coat of the glue on all of the hairs to really get them as nice and glued down as possible. And then I'm going to go into the natural areas of my eyebrow. I don't really need to get my eyebrows flat. I just need this to be a protective layer against spirit gum, which is the glue that I'm going to use to glue down the sugar crystals. You don't want to get that in any hair areas because it's going to pull out the hair. So I'm gluing down my eyebrows to protect my eyebrow hairs from this process. I'm taking a little bit of a loose powder now to set that glue so it doesn't slip and move around the face. Now I'm taking Spirit Gum by Mayron, which is an adhesive, and it's skin safe, of course, but it's quite heavy duty. So I'm going to go in now with that glue, and these are rock candy that I got from the candy store, and I just broke them up, and it's perfect. Instant ice. So I'm taking the Spirit Gum, and I'm applying it to a very large area of my face at a time, because you want this glue to really, really dry before you apply any product to it, or it's going to fall right off. So instead of doing small area by small area one at a time, get the entire area of the brow that you want to apply it to, and then wait for that to get really nice and sticky. And while you do that, do a little dance. So So now I'm going in with that rock candy, and I'm just going to start applying it to the eyebrow. And I want to, of course, get it as close to the other side as possible. But you want to really look at the cracks and the breaks in the rock candy to kind of get them to kind of fit together as much as possible, and to make sure that there's not too much spacing in between each sugar crystal. So I'm just going to speed this up, and you're just going to apply it to the entire brow area. So now I'm going in with a little bit more spirit gum in certain areas. I'm going to now let that dry and then keep applying more. Now that I have most of the bulk of the brow done, I'm going to kind of consciously grab smaller rock candy so it kind of has a gradient and it fades up the face. You might notice now I'm going in with more spirit gum in these areas, and then I'm going to start grabbing smaller and smaller rock candy as we move forward, and that's going to give you that gradient that you guys can see that on the left side of my face. And it really is nice to just really fade it out. Of course, it's not a natural makeup look, but it has a little bit more flow. But when I get to the smaller sections, I'm taking in like the smallest crushed parts of that rock candy straight out of the bowl. I'm going to tilt my head back, and I'm going to pinch that product, and I'm just going to drizzle it onto my head. And that's going to give you really, really tiny ones. And then once it's on your head, you want to really press it into that spirit gum so it sticks. A bunch of these are going to fall down. This is definitely going to be one of your messier makeup looks if you do try this out. But it's going to look great, and it's going to give you that really cool snow looking feel. And this rock candy is a really great texture and a really great material to really pull off that ice. And you could actually do it all with the really small rock candies, and it would look totally different. It'll be a little bit more feminine, maybe, per se. If you're a female trying this out, it'd be really cool to maybe try out smaller pieces of rock candy. It'd be pretty dope, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm just doing the same exact process on that cheekbone, and I'm going to start off on my outer corner of my eye with the biggest, and then I'm going to get them smaller and fade them in as they start to curve towards my nose. I'm taking a white face paint now, and I'm going to start applying that to my hair with a fan brush. This one is one of the Samir Kusami brushes, and I'm just using that fan brush to apply it to my hair. I did previously slick it back because I really wanted to get it a little bit more like avant-garde looking, and a little bit less, like Halloween-ish costume. I wanted it to be very, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going in with that Makeup Forever Flash Palette in white, and I'm putting that in my hairline. And essentially the goal of this is I want to make my hairline invisible. So I'm applying a little bit of white paint to my forehead, which I'm then going to fade down into my face. But then right there where that white paint meets my hairline, I'm going to start applying more white paint, and then I'm going to start applying those sugar crystals, and that's hopefully ultimately going to blend my hairline, and that really is going to dehumanize your face and be a little bit more of a transformation when you can take away something like your eyebrows and your hairline, because that's really a nice, obviously a very characteristic about a person that people really notice. So if you guys can take that away in a makeup look, it'll be a lot more of a transformation, and you'll look a lot different, very dehumanized, if that makes sense. But since this is a very small area, I'm using my finger to blend that out as best as humanly possible, and then we're just going to keep adding more products until it gets as minimized as possible. I'm going in with, I think this is, it's Dusty Rose by Anastasia. And I'm taking a blending brush, and I'm going to contour my face with it. So what I like to do is take a blending brush and to really cut in where I want the most depth and that little S-type shape. And then I use that brush in circular motions to start blending it upward. And then ultimately I blend it the bottom part of that line too, and then I apply more, and to get like maximum depth. That's how I get a nice cruisy contour. I'm taking a little bit of hairspray, and I'm applying more rock candy to my hair. As you can see, this is the messiest step. It falls down like crazy, but hairspray will help it stick to the hair. I wanted a little bit more white on the lid now that everything was kind of coming together, so I applied a little bit more Makeup Forever Cream White onto my lid underneath those sugar crystals, and I'm blending it out. And now I'm taking Becca Cosmetics highlighter in Pearl, which is the perfect white highlighter, especially for all you pale sisters. If you guys want a highlighter and none of them seem to show up, Pearl is your girl. Oh, Pearl's your girl. That should be their motto. Anyway, I'm applying that to my nose to give like a little bit of a shiny wet feel and to kind of pull in that ice, get that frost. And that's a finished tutorial, my friends. I really hope that you guys like this and found this useful and learned something cool today. And if you guys like to recreate this look, please tag me on social media. I love to see it. I love to cheer my fashionistas on. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye, friends.